making your way in the world today, you really need a pod. Why don't you put your headphones in and give this one a shot? Wouldn't you like to just listen away and go to a place where everybody knows who you are? Listen to two guys brew, ha ha. Cold Street Brewery and Full Buddy Cast, two of the greatest names. Why don't you go and listen to this episode?
Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings. Sean. Well, I should probably Lord of the Rings. Okay, Lord of the Rings. Sean Astin. So close. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening to another episode of Brouhaha. Full Buddy Cast presents Brouhaha. Hosted by Sean McDonald, not from Lord of the Rings, but from Cole Street, and Travis Kenny, Full Buddy Cast. In this episode, I don't know what we're going to talk about too much. I mean, I have it all written down, but who knows where this is going to go. It's a very organic conversation. What that means is we talk about Brew, and we make some jokes, and we tell some stories, and we may share some secrets. Who knows how crazy this will get? But we've got Sean from Cole Street. He's bringing the brew. I'm bringing the ha-has, hopefully, but mostly he brings the ha-has too. So I don't really do anything much. I just kind of sit here and just make some stories up. We're going to clink our glasses and get right into this episode.
Bing.
Sean?
Bing.
How you doing? Let's do it real close. Let's just get it right. There we go. That was us clinking our glasses. Sean, how are you doing?
I'm only a quarter of the way through the beer, so
yeah. Okay. So
give me two more into this, and
what are we drinking?
Oh, we're drinking a porter.
A porter.
Porter is comes from the old England times. There used to be porters that would work on the big steel rigs, making boats and making trains and all that stuff in England, and so it's a really dark beer. It comes from a really roasted malt. Back then, they didn't have light malt, so all of their beers were dark beers. So that's why they have a mild. That means it's kind of like watered down. But the characteristics are it's like coffee. So not that our fans are going to know, but we're starting kind of early today. And so we're going to start with
We're starting early.
Beer.
We're actually starting early.
Well, I was here earlier. Somebody.
Well, I didn't know if it was going to be Monday or Tuesday, and I thought it was going to be around noon.
Noon? That's an Americanized thing. In Washington, we can start drinking at 6:30. Why didn't we start at 6:30?
I am on vacation, and I'm playing video games with my cousin Aaron.
It's the holidays.
And it's all, I'm like, nice. I got my slippers on now. I got 2 robes for Christmas. 2 robes. That's double the luxury right there. I've never owned a robe in my life. Got 2 robes for Christmas.
I've never bought one or gotten gifted one. I just take them from the hotels that I stay at.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
You're the robe bandit. Is that
so I get home and then I realize what's the use in a robe?
Full disclosure, since we're getting right into it, and this is telling secrets, I have not learned how to pee yet from a robe. And so, let's just say it's a good thing.
Because you sit down and
it's
you're not used to pulling up the skirt?
It's a good thing I got 2. Let's just say that. It's a good thing I got 2 of those puppies. All right, so this coffee beer, it's
not a coffee
it's
beer.
Not coffee.
It's a porter.
It's a porter, but it has a taste as if it were a hint of coffee.
Yeah, that's because it's the roasted malt. So it's roasted like a coffee bean is roasted. That's why it gets that kind of.
It's got that roast taste. It's not going to actually have caffeine in it for you ready to roll.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
I'm ready to roll though. I'm excited. You guys, real quick catch up. Now we haven't done a few of these. I think we were up to like maybe 8 or 9 or 10. And then we took a break. I think the last thing we even talked about was Oktoberfest, and then that was heading into October, and then the holidays hit. And I don't know if you know this, but Sean is a very busy guy doing his darndest to keep his business alive during the pandemic.
Yeah, COVID.
So he's doing. He's a busy dude. Fantasy football hits as well. Plus, he kind of likes to have a free life, which is weird. Like, I know a lot of us, we would go to the Cole Street during our free time, but his free time is obviously trying to also experience things as well. So
yeah, so I mean, I finally just gave up and started to have to take time off. So I actually ran that numbers, and this came about because L&I sent me a hefty bill in the mail saying that I owed for all the family leave time and that sort of thing. Well, full disclosure, I have not had an employee the whole year of 2020. 2020 is a crap year. I mean, it jumped up $1.50 raise on minimum wage, and I told my staff, I'm like, hey, January and February are the slowest months of the year, so I'm just going to run everything for those 2 months because I can handle it, and then
COVID hit,
and then bring it back in March. But then March, COVID hit, so.
So you didn't have anyone on the payroll for like a week, kind of a thing, like for during in March before.
No,
wow,
I didn't.
Nothing at all. Wow,
no, nothing at all.
So they said you have to pay that bill,
I'm fighting it. I still have to pay part of it.
Yeah.
They sent me like a $10,000 bill. I have to pay like $200-$300. So, but it's still frustrating. I have to pay you for what?
Right.
All you did is make it work for me. But so I've worked the whole entire year, and in that year, total days off. Like complete days off where I'm off campus, have nothing to do at the brewery. I've only had 18 days off this whole entire year. I just did that tally. So
did you?
That's where when people were texting me like, "You're not even open." Like, sorry, man, I don't even care.
Yeah. You don't want to get burned out on your own business. And have you ever? And I'm going to be as open and honest as I can be with this. But have you ever thought, you know what? I'm just gonna pack it up.
During this year, there was a few times, man, it was tough.
Like it was like were you like, okay, what can I do? How long can I live off of what I've made, and then I have to go find another job and just shut this puppy down or start something new? Yeah,
for sure. There was times where people needed money, and I just didn't have money.
Yeah,
I was robbing Peter to pay Paul, and at some point, Paul's pockets are empty too. So, got some, had some friends kicking a little cash and did
keep
what
it
I
going.
could. Yeah.
Good.
But,
well, that's good. Yeah.
Definitely a rough year on that front for sure.
Well, how built are you for 2021? I feel like that there was a lot of things that kind of weathered through, like opening up Cole Street, having downtown Saturdays.
So our city's been great, and they've opened up the street and invited people down, following all the COVID regulations, so we could space people out to help our businesses, because our businesses couldn't do events or do any type of thing to attract people. So instead, our city did it for us, which was great. Really helped us out, still helping us out. I just want to throw that out there. A lot of people think it ended with the holidays, but we're powering through all of January and most of February. We already have, shutting down the street from Friday through Sunday. And then we have, a couple other things in plans. I don't want to let the cat totally out of the bag.
All right, it's a good tease. It's a good tease.
So weather dependent, we do plan on. We have a whole bunch of really great companies in town that have dump trucks, and they're going to run up to Crystal Mountain because we have, a good relationship with them. We're going to snag some snow. We're going to bring it down here.
Oh, some actual snow.
Actual snow. Yep. We have downtown on Saturday nights in January. It snows downtown on Cole Street.
Yeah.
But that's fake snow.
Right.
But we're looking the second weekend of January, weather dependent. We're going to throw snow in a parking lot, make a big hill, do some sledding and snowball fights and that sort of thing.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. It'll be a blast. And that's the city, it's all the business owners in downtown working with the city.
I did have a great time. In fact, every time, I think I've supported local more than I ever have in my entire, life, I would say, this Christmas.
Yeah, extremely important.
Yeah, buying Christmas gifts, going, whether it's the antique shop, grabbing some things there, hitting up that tent that was over across the street from you, going through there, hitting there, and then also up and down Cole Street as well, grabbing some gift cards, grabbing some. I think I know that I typically I'll walk through the grocery store and I'll think to myself, well, I want to drink tonight, and then I'm like, well, you know what? I think I'll just mosey on down to Cole Street, and rather than just sit in my house and have 4 or 5 beers, I'll go down to Cole Street and have 4 or 5 beers with my wife. So
really appreciate that.
Yeah, no, it kind of helps figure out what fun thing am I going to do tonight? Except because when I work at home, and the last thing I want to do is get off of work and continue my night at home. I'm used to being at the office and then going home is fun. I'm at home or getting out early and going home. Here, if you get out early or you're off, it's like, I want to go do something else. So it's been nice to kind of just hit down Cole Street. They have, the campfires out and this and that, where we're able to drink and have fun there. By the way, this and that, shout out to Holly Graff, always calling me out on saying this and that all the time. Always. Trying to get a sponsorship with this and that. Sorry. Because I always say it.
Yeah, she's a really great lady. Her and her husband. They do a lot with us too.
I love how you made her sound older. You said lady. So we're going to say that. I like that. Holly is an old soul. Very, very.
I wasn't talking about Holly. I was talking about the owner of this and that.
I think about Holly. It could apply to both. But yes, yeah. She's actually pretty sweet too. I did approach her on getting a sponsorship. I just walked through. I believe it or not, my brother-in-law is friends with her kid. I didn't know this. I go in there and they're like chatting it up. I'm actually kind of helping them set up some things. And she's like, doors are closed. And so she's just, her and her husband just chatted up and like, hey, I guess I say this and that all the time on this podcast. What do you think if I just threw that out? And I think she kind of looked at me like, well, what do you do for do you bring in money? Like, and I'm like, no, I usually get a discount somewhere, I'll do something with, Cole Street or Mazatlan or Bordeaux Wine Bar, something to where I get the discount that the listeners will get and this and that. Oh, this and that. And she kind of looked at me like, what in the world would I give you that would be fun for you? like I can understand Mazatlan. I can understand Cole Street. I can understand these other places. But me walking in and being like, oh, let me get that. Can I get that sign for half off? Can I get that little that doily for half off? That'd be nice. But they do have candy, and they do have the cigarette candy. Remember the cigarette candies? Mm-hmm. The cigarette sticks, the candy sticks.
Yeah, my mom always said those were the worst things because they're trying to get kids to smoke before. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Well, I got my kids that for stocking stuffers.
It's kind of like that Oregon mint. It used to be. It's like a chew can, and it's only mint leaves. It's only mint leaves.
Is that what it was?
But it's just like chewing tobacco.
See, I got the jerky stuff. I never got the Oregon mint stuff. I didn't even know they had that.
Oregon mint's really sticky, and it's the jerky is more like jerky where it's like really fine and kind of falls apart.
Yeah.
Versus the Oregon mint was really sticky, like
an actual
like a plug chew.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
I got to find this stuff out. Anyway, it's nice going down to Cole Street and hitting up the businesses. And the other night, can I tell a story? Should I omit this guy's name?
No, go for it.
Are you okay with that? He's a customer.
He is, and we have a very open relationship.
And he seems like a guy that wouldn't care. Nope. Except I will start with my story.
And as soon as you start describing him, every person
everyone's
that's
going to
been
know
downtown.
The funny thing is, you're absolutely correct. I told the story.
There's only two
with my family yesterday because it was a funny story. At least it was entertaining. And I start telling the story. My daughter, who works at the Rainier, within like 2 sentences of describing this guy, she goes, "I know exactly who that is. I know exactly who that is." And she didn't have a positive. She didn't have a positive type of I don't know memory of him. So anyway, I don't
think you need to use a name.
So I'm not going to use a name now.
Just describe.
Just describe, and people will know. Okay, and it's not Hog Dog. We'll say this right now.
Yeah, it's not Hog Dog.
It could be like we're kind of describing Hog Dog, maybe a little bit, but no. So I'm at Cole Street having some brews. Me and my wife are by a campfire in Mill Street. It's fun. And Jamie calls it Enum Kloss Vegas because you can sit by the ropes. You can sit on the sidewalk and have your beers like behind the ropes on the.
Sure.
It's outside dining, right?
Yeah.
Because you're not supposed to have them by the campfires.
Yeah,
correct?
You can.
You can.
Yeah. So your drink has to be covered until you get to a place to sit down, and then you take your lid off.
Oh, as long as you're in that area.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, in the closed off area.
So it feels like it does. It feels like you're kind of like on the street, on Vegas, open container type stuff, except closed container when you're walking.
Yep.
Open container when you sit down.
Yep. You're stationary.
So I am. So on Cole Street they got music playing, and it is city approved. So it's completely fine. Can I say that? I feel like the story is like
that was getting way off the rails. No, so I mean it's fine. I mean, the city got donated speakers, and they're right by that park there that they've set up with the big tent and that sort of thing. And they're always quiet. So it's always been, I don't know, kind of a pet peeve of mine because it's hard for me to get music from inside my place outside. But that being said, the music that I play is bar room type music. So.
My wife was digging it too. My wife was digging the music too.
But yeah, so I have city approval to connect to that and play music out there.
So as he's connecting to it, he has to move his phone around because he brings it to us because he trusts us, right? He doesn't want someone just swiping his phone, and so it's with us. And
because it's bar room music, so there's songs on there that probably aren't
that we need to make sure that we can skip out of just in case. Mm-hmm. Anyway. There's this one group to my right of like 6 20-year-olds, 20-something-year-olds, I should say, not 20-year-olds, 20-something-year-olds, obviously drinking age, hanging out back from college. They're looking at this other group, and I can't figure out why. And so Sean comes over, he checks the phone, he goes, yeah, I'm kind of moved this phone over here to you guys. That group is like kind of trying to embarrass this other friend they have in this other group. So anyway, that's kind of what gets me involved in checking out this group. Well, this rewind 5 minutes behind this, before this, I was buying a beer, and in the Cole Street Brewery where I'm buying this beer, there's this guy who walks in. He's got boots and spurs, tight jeans.
Ching, ching.
Yeah, he's got the sheepskin jean jacket and the cowboy hat. And I tell Jamie when I get out of there, I'm like, I just saw the most Hollywood cowboy I've ever seen in my entire life. This dude was playing a part.
Yeah, and the more girls that talk to him, the more he rolls into that southern charm.
Oh, he did. He was like, I'm just here to shoot the shit there, Sean. How you doing, man? And I'm like, this guy has seen every Western, and he is just playing this part. So he sits down by himself at another not campfire, but another fire station area there. Anyway, these girls I think they're looking at way past him. So I go up and I find that Jamie goes to go to the bathroom. I go over to that group of the 3 dudes and 3 chicks, and I'm like, hey, what do you guys keep looking at over here? Like, who are you trying to embarrass? And they're like, one of the girls is like, oh my gosh, this girl thinks that cowboy guy is like the hottest thing in the world.
Yeah. So I see him a couple times a week, and that happens every time.
Yeah.
It makes me just want to like get that whole get up going on and just wonder. Ching, ching, ching.
Just 2 spurs.
Yes, ma'am.
You got 2 spurs on each boot. You got a cowboy hat like Dumb and Dumber, just a big, massive one. So this guy thinks he's so cool. I feel like I'm watching James Franco in like some movie play a part of a cowboy. Like, this guy is not a cowboy. He's not a cowboy. I'll tell you this right now. I've been around cowboys, been around Hicks, whatever you want to call them. This guy is what you would like see in Vegas, like in a circle on Fremont Street, getting money, playing a guitar, trying to be as cowboy as possible. Just for the attention, just for the chicks, just for the money. So nothing. And this guy was a nice. Actually,
he has horses.
He wasn't super nice to me, actually. But anyway, he was kind of arrogant. But he walked.
That goes with the persona.
He walked away. Once he realized we were talking about him, he finished his drink. He got up and he walked away with his back to us. And this is the funniest thing. He didn't say anything. I go, hey buddy, hey, because I knew this girl liked him. And he kind of did this thing from behind. He flicked his hand like almost like a snap, and like as if almost like a hey, I know you're talking about me. And he kept walking. And I go, don't make me hog tie you. Don't make me lasso you and this and that. He comes around. I go, this is my friend. I go, what's your name? She goes, Danielle. I go, Danielle, it's my friend Danielle. And she's back from college. She goes to college and she goes, Green River Community College. And I go,
back from.
Yeah. And I go, this guy's name is, and he goes, Clay. And I go, Clay, Danielle, let me buy you guys a drink. So I bought them a drink at Cole Street, obviously. And then when they were kind of talking, Sean came up. Actually, it's kind of like, oh yeah, okay. So you kind of got them to talk. Okay. Hey, just so you know, this guy kind of like does. So you already said it already. Yeah. This guy does this like 2 or 3 times a week. He gets the girls, this and that.
He stands at a table until they walk up and.
Yeah. So then at that point, I'm like freaked out. I'm like, oh wow, thank you. Can you eat those after eating 2 bagels?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Thank you. Is everything kosher for you on that? Like, are you like not a ham person? Are you?
Well, I'm allergic to bacon. Didn't we talk about that?
Oh, we did. So I'll take that ham. Yeah. It's ham.
Take the ham.
Okay. Anyway, my wife just brought in some breakfast sandwiches for us, like my production crew. So I go up to that group immediately, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like. Because he goes to pay, actually. He leaves too. He goes to pay. I go back to Danielle, and I'm like, hey, just so you know, this guy kind of does this, I guess. I just found that out. I'm very sorry. I don't know the guy at all. And she was like, I know. I'm just going to, like, not even do anything. I'm like, okay, cool. Cool. Do that. Do nothing. And I felt good. I felt my conscience was clean at that point, and then that was the night. So, I don't know if I want to embarrass.
Don't get me wrong. He's a super nice guy. Good guy. It's just, I see that a couple times a week where he'll just stand there and then they just flock to him. It's like, whatever. I don't know. But he takes the finger thing is he takes a lot of shit for those spurs.
Oh, he does.
Where's your horse at? Because, I mean...
Yeah, who wears spurs down to...
Doesn't take that much to just take the fucking spurs off. Excuse me, take the spurs off.
That's okay, you can say that. This is brouhaha. Yeah, anyway, I thought the same thing. I thought that this guy was out of a movie, and then when you came up, you're like, I mean, this guy does have horses...
He rides,
but he doesn't really have that cowboy background. He likes the cowboy culture.
He's not a shit kicker. You can tell by his pants because they aren't shit kicker pants. Now he comes out
you've worn some shit kicker pants, haven't you?
Yes, sir. Look at my pants right now. I mean, these are semi-clean.
The cleanest pair I got.
But he does come out with another guy. We're not gonna say his name, but the other guy that comes out with is a true trainer. You can tell because he's got. He comes out and I'm pretty sure he thinks that he's pretty clean. You know, he thinks he's good, but you look at the back of his shirt and you can tell a horse has just rubbed its head on him. And it's got a big, dust spot, that sort of thing. Versus the other guy, he's spotless. Clean,
spotless, looking like the urban cowboy.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was fun. I like that felt. I do that in the bar, like when you're in a bar at the brewery or whatever. Meeting people, that's kind of the hardest thing to do now.
Yeah, but it's in Las Vegas or whatever.
In Las Vegas.
It's the same thing. I mean, street.
Yeah, it's on the street, and now I'm meeting people again. At the pre-pandemic, it would be so cool to go walk up and just be like, "Oh, hey, this guy's looking at you." Hey, and you could do that. Meet people, talk to people, make jokes. Have fun, play song. Like you could do things that it's like that's the one thing, the spontaneous. Like I'm just going to be an idiot for a moment. I was finally able to be an idiot for a moment. It felt very refreshing.
Yeah, I know. This whole 2020 has been. I mean, what do you do with your time?
Right.
I mean, kind of what you're saying too is like you work at home and then like go out. I don't know. It's been super weird. It's tough for me. The restaurants close at like 8:00 now, and but at the same time, the reason why they do that is because everybody goes home by 8. I've gotten in that discussion several times. People were like, "Oh, this is my last beer. I'm going to go home." I'm like, "What are you talking about? It's 7:30."
Right.
Like, well, I got to get up early for work tomorrow.
Right.
Hey, I mean, like 10, 12 months ago, you had to get up at the same exact time as you do now, and you'd be at the bar until 11. So why are you going home at 8? I don't know. It's just a mindset that as everybody's just kind of changed to a much earlier time. And
well, I think it's also when it gets dark because there's times even where we'll go out and every year it's the same thing. I hate it because the funny thing is that when you look back on like Facebook posts, that's going to pop everywhere. Just so you know, she's got that type of egg. Yeah. So you may want to put your plate. It's
all over my beard, like it's all over your beard.
Yeah, I know it's all over my beard. It is, isn't it? Oh my gosh, it's everywhere. I can feel. I thought I got it, but I totally didn't get it. Did I?
It went all over your beard.
Anyway, the yolk's on me. But back in the day, you look at these like Facebook memories, and it's like, oh man, it's so cold or it's so dark, and then in the summer it's so hot I can't stand the heat. But it's like that every friggin' year. And so you should be used to it. You should be like, okay, I've been on this earth almost 40 years to know that. And it's like every year it kind of sneaks up. Yeah, I can't believe how dark it is. It got dark so early. I can't believe how light it is outside. I can't believe how early. Is it really this time? 7:30 or 8 o'clock now feels like 9:30, 10, 10:30. It's so weird. And I think your body subconsciously is used to being like, okay, it's been dark for like an hour. I'm ready for bed. 2 hours. I'm ready for bed.
Yeah.
It's so weird. And then you wake up I wake up so refreshed. Like I wake up at like 5 a.m.
Well, yeah, because you slept for 12 hours.
Exactly. It's so weird.
You people are weird. I still sleep for like 5, 6 at the most. But I have plenty of stuff to do.
So I'm going to eat. I'm going to ask you a question. Go with a long answer. Okay?
Okay. And you see, it started with a beer
right.
in a bar. And then,
knowing what you know now, in 2020, if you could go back to January as a business owner,
if I could go back to like October, November and prepare myself.
Yes, let's go. Let's say that we go back to October, November of last year. Give me while I eat an essay answer of what you would do differently.
I mean, honestly, with the whole move to the Courier building, there wasn't a whole lot I could change about that because, I mean, I was going through the different steps and got held up in pretty much every government agency, no complaints. I mean, they all have their things that they want fixed. But, yeah, definitely setting up a better game plan of, being able to look ahead and knowing about the outdoor seating especially, and just having that. Like, I should have just focused on that. I was focusing on setting up a great indoor tap room that was nice and comfortable, pews and nice stoves and all that sort of thing. Definitely changed that because when this all happened and turned to outdoor, I had to find the money to do that. Also, packaging. I still don't have crowlers because there's a can shortage. Cans are very expensive, so I could have stocked up on that ahead of time. Even glass, like getting the growlers. I mean, it's not that there's a shortage. It's just time. They don't have as many people working, so it takes a lot longer to get things, the lead times on stuff. So definitely setting up and having a lot more backstock than, ended up with. Yeah.
Okay, that allowed me to finish one sandwich. Well, as I was looking back on it as well, for you, do you think you would have done better or worse if you never went to the old Courier Herald building?
Oh, if I'd stayed at my original location, there's no way I would have survived. Off the beaten path, out of sight, out of mind. Definitely being downtown. While it really sucked that was the time period that it opened, and got hit with all these sanctions and that sort of thing, where it made it really tough. And paying 2 bills, it still definitely saved me because, there's no way I would have survived down the street.
That's what I was thinking too. I was thinking, thank goodness that Sean's here.
Yeah.
And I feel like he almost became like, not the mayor of Enumclaw, so to speak, but like everyone saw you. You're very visible.
That's the other thing. I've always been super active in the community. I'm a huge support local, keep it local. Always have been, but never really been like in the forefront where a lot of those actions are seen. Now, right now with the streets closing down, like at least every Sunday, I'm the one that opens the street back up. So I'm always out there moving the tables, that sort of thing around. But also I'm helping change propane tanks. And then with the pandemic where I was forced to have food and the restaurants are suffering, doing running and getting food between the restaurants. Obviously, people see me coming and going. And they're like, "Who's this guy? What's he doing?"
Right.
That sort of thing.
How is he a part of this whole thing?
Yeah. But that's walking advertising. I mean, I always talk about that every time somebody buys a T-shirt and walks out. I'm like, I appreciate it.
Right. And you
It's
kind of
walking advertising.
You kind of get the same getup. It's just a little different each time. You got that long beard, known for the long beard, ball cap, mask that you also have, and the beard coming out from that, hoodie, some sort of hoodie that you would be wearing, advertising. Dude, I got egg all over my shirt.
You got egg on you everywhere.
Dude, that thing, that's terrible. I have to change this shirt, even though like no one can see this. That egg went everywhere. At what point when you saw this did you go, when's he going to notice this?
No, it's...
That's like having a booger in your nose forever.
Why do you think I poured another glass of beer?
Jeez Louise. Anyway, yeah, you kind of got that same, like, not saying that you're the mascot of Cole Street, but you kind of like, not saying like you're the Squatch from the Sonics, but you're kind of like the Squatch from the Sonics where people can, like, you should be walking around with an air cannon just shooting T-shirts out at people.
You give me a hair cannon, I'll do it.
I actually thought about if we could do some sort of full buddy cast presents Saturday night, you know, this or that. But I thought, well, there's liability. I probably as a sponsor, you probably got to be very, very leery of lawsuits and liability and all that.
Right now, it's super tough with the government restrictions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's like live music that I have several, you know, obviously I have a whole lineup of local musicians that I was going to have all through the summer.
Yeah.
And they're still hitting me up. They're like, hey, you know, I can just come down and, you know, and it's like, for me as a business, I just kind of say you as a musician can do whatever you would like. You're a free person.
You're the person that
but me, I'm not.
You don't want the liability. So basically saying it's like, hey, if you want to roll the dice, you bring your own stage, you bring your own equipment, you put this on yourself.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not going anywhere, and my doors will be open to sell beer.
And I have no problem with you setting up in front of my place.
And I'm not going to go out there, get on stage. Hey, this is Cole Street. We're presenting such and such and such and such. This is on you. This is all you. I hope you sell T-shirts and CDs and everything and get out there.
Yeah.
But I cannot, just because of how things are, associate with that. Is that kind of a thing, what you're saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, I did want to kind of talk about, touch on that too. So obviously our downtown core and pretty much every business in Enumclaw, we have a weekly meeting. And we have been since June. That's where a lot of these ideas have come from. So everybody collaborating and figuring out what can we do within the rules and restrictions. But obviously it doesn't seem like any of this stuff is going to get loosened up anytime soon. In fact, there's kind of like rumors that like next week or so, there's going to be another. Oregon already confirmed that they shut down until March.
I saw this thing coming. It's like it's
a year, and at this time
they said that a year ago.
They have plenty of numbers and stats,
right?
You know, but Enumclaw's working. We're working with some attorneys now. We're trying to set up something legal to just do our legal due diligence within the rules.
Yeah. You got to do your best, man. It's like only the strong. This is like one of those things. Only the strong will survive.
Yeah.
It's rough. It almost reminds me of the .coms, and then it goes into the recession. And I know that we all know this. Actually, I think that we've seen it from previous in history. If you can make it through this, you will be very strong.
So
when you come out of it,
and I get a lot of people that come in, like especially outsiders, brand new to town, and they come in and they're like, "Well, how are you doing? Are you going to make it?"
Yeah.
The truthful answer is like, you tell me when this ends or how long it's going to be, and I can tell you.
Right.
But at this point, there's absolutely no end
Everything
in
is
sight.
the unknown.
Yeah. So I'm making it right now. My door is open today. We'll be open next week. Well, next week. I'll be open next week.
Right.
But the end of the month, I mean, I don't know. It depends on what the changes are, and
Are you that?
And getting people out.
Yeah.
So again, I touched on this a little bit earlier. Like January and February are the worst months of the year. Everybody spends money in Christmas.
So people need to friggin' come out. Is what you're saying.
Well, there's two things here, and I like to just point this out. And it's I'm not saying this negatively. I'm just pointing it out because a lot of people don't really understand this. Right. So Christmas time, you get a lot of gift cards. Gift cards are great
at that time.
So in December, the businesses make a lot of money on those gift cards. Mm-hmm. So for me, I produce a product, so I have to buy ingredients to produce that. And then I sell the product. By selling the product, I create the money to repurchase the ingredients to make it. So with gift cards, you get a big lump of money right up front. But then it's hard to gauge when you're going to be able to spend that money.
Right.
And for me right now, I have so many different bills that I'm still trying to catch up on.
Right.
So any extra cash is just going to those bills. Well, then in January tends to be when people use those gift cards that they got for Christmas.
So all your product is going out, but you're not getting anything in.
Yeah. They don't want to lose the gift cards. They want to spend them as soon as possible.
Right.
So then January, that's another reason why January is one of the worst months of the year for any business,
And that makes sense, especially
any retail business.
any retail business that also people overspend in December for Christmas as well. So they don't their money is tight anyways, So now they're like, okay, well, January we're just going to tighten our budget, catch up from what we had overspent in December, at the end of December, whatever. And then, so I guess what you're saying is, maybe we'll hashtag this, shop local even after Christmas or something like that. Like just continue. And maybe it's that mindset of where you say, okay,
I'm not trying to put a negative picture on the gift card, but I'm trying to say you just think about it.
Think
about it
right.
from the business
And let me ask you this. When do you, specifically Cole Street, for those that listen, they're probably fans of Cole Street. They probably have Cole Street gift cards or have bought Cole Street gift cards for other people. When does your gift cards expire?
They don't.
They never. If you forget about it, it's in the bottom of your purse, and you pull it out, and you're like, oh shoot, I have this thing like from 2018.
Yep.
It still can be used.
My gift cards are basically like a credit card.
Okay.
So they look like a credit card and they last just as long as a credit card will. So you can throw it in your wallet and
it's not like you lose $5 every year or anything
Nope.
like that. No
Nope.
annual change or anything.
It's always usable.
That's awesome. So with that said, spread out that gift card.
Yeah.
Use that. Yeah, use it. Use it in January. Use it in February. Use it in March. But also maybe one night or 2 nights or 3 nights when you come down there, also don't use it. And that'd be kind of like because then you can use it in February and it's around in March and all that too. You don't want to see, you want to support local even after Christmas.
Yeah.
Maybe have that same mindset. Even for me, I got to do that mindset every once in a while where it's like, as I'm walking, beer prices aren't that different.
Yeah.
If you go into, you go buy a 12 pack of Coors Light, and that's going to cost you probably, $16, $17 or something like that. I could go to Cole Street, get a growler of Pub Light, and it's about the same, maybe even a little
17.
cheaper.
Yeah,
maybe a little cheaper. And then I know that I'm supporting local, and I'm going to be able to just do the same thing that I was planning on doing anyways. I'm not saying that you guys need to go do what I did where I'm like, I'm going to drink tonight at home. Maybe you want to drink at home. That's cool. Go grab a growler and do it. Yeah. And tag yourself with Full Buddy Cast in there too. Get a little deal. Yeah. That's like that's a club card. That's a Safeway club card. Minus the Safeway part of it. All right, so we use, we're getting towards the end of this first podcast. I know that we were trying to catch up on what you were doing with your life. We usually have the survival stories. We usually talk about random things. We usually talk about how beer history or beer this or beer that. Let's quickly talk. Have we talked about this porter and how it's made ever? In another podcast?
No, I don't think so.
So what's the difference going with the porter? Obviously the roasted malt and this and that, but is this a longer brew? Is it a shorter brew than usual with others? Like what is it that?
So it's an ale. So ales always take 2 weeks to ferment. In the brewing process, because of the dark malt, it takes a little bit more to rinse through because you're trying to get that color off of it. With the lighter one, like a Pub Light, you one time through, you don't really need any color from it. So, and then with all the beers, the temperatures are kind of different. You're trying to get flavors at different temperatures. With this one, there's so much flavor. Just think of like a coffee bean. It's almost exactly the same. There's so much flavor in that bean. One pass, and you got a lot of flavor already. So, yeah.
And then, so how? Is it longer?
No.
Super long? About the same?
About 2 weeks.
2 weeks, okay.
2 weeks and on tap.
And is there anything special that have you ever messed up on a porter? Like have you ever had that was not that good?
Sometimes they could be a little more astringent, so it's a little bit, stronger like coffee flavor.
Yeah. But I think some people enjoy that.
Some do, yeah. It's the difference between somebody that likes, creamer in their coffee or black.
Right. Do you ever kind of advertise that where it's like, hey, this batch was this is dude, if you like the coffee,
I've done a robust porter.
Okay, all right.
Robust means that it's yeah.
So you take drink a little bit. Okay, this is going to be a robust one, and I'm going to label this as a robust one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's that's other breweries do the same thing. So when you see a robust brewery or a robust porter, that's what they're trying to tell you up front, that this is going to be a much stronger one.
Much stronger one than you usually are used to. When it comes, we're going to talk about other beers coming up. So when it comes to porters, though, are you a fan of porters? Like
I am. Yeah. I think it's a good all around beer. It goes with a lot of foods. More like your dark meats and that sort of thing. It already has kind of that smoke added to it. So you have just kind of a plain Jane steak. Throw a little porter with it, and then you have a nice little smoked steak, kind of more like it's really been on a good grill and that sort of thing.
So is this the darkest beer that you brew?
No, currently I have my Imperial Stout on tap, and that one's a super dark one, super strong on all fronts. Like it's a much more robust, and then it also has a higher alcohol because it's the Imperial.
What's the alcohol content on this?
This is like middle of the road, a little higher. It's 6%,
which is pretty strong.
Yeah,
kind of.
Strong.
What would be the Imperial Stout? How much would that be?
8.9.
Dang, that's a hardcore one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all those people that are right now salivating, listening to this, they're going, "Ooh, yeah, I might want the Imperial Stout. Try that out." Mm-hmm. Is that available on tap right now, or
it is currently? Yep.
Currently on tap.
And it will be. We'll have that on until at least February, maybe towards the end of February.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha. Well, cool. Well, we usually do shout outs at the end of the podcast as well. What's any shout outs you got cooked up for us?
I'm just going to shout out some of the local restaurants. I think, I've talked about it before. The back of the house is what runs a house. And, I love all the guys at the Rainier. Tyler in there freaking cooking his ass off every day.
Nice.
Yeah. And then Eric and Anthony. Yeah, they're all doing great back there.
Yeah. Yeah, so the Rainier group and then the Mint.
Sean, Noel, Justin. Yeah.
Nice. And I feel like you're like also very I feel like you're very we'll talk about this on the next episode, so stay tuned to this one. But I feel like with you support local. You will even check yourself in at other breweries or even wine bars or other types of areas. Now, Bordeaux Wine Bar with their move, and we'll talk about this on the next.
Oh, I love the idea.
The
coming
episode.
Down. I
don't want to tell people that you love it yet. Don't say it yet.
Oh God!
You guys need to listen to the next one to really feel how I feel about it. The first words. I love the stop.
You forget that I do enjoy drinking too,
yeah, I know.
So going to another drinking establishment.
Okay, we'll talk about how I feel about it as well.
Okay.
We'll talk about how I feel about it as well. All right, everyone, thanks for listening. My shout out right now, I'm going to shout out Craig Bentley. I enjoy Craig Bentley a ton, and Carrie Bentley, and Corey Bentley. I enjoy the Bentleys, but Craig is a listener that has been listening to Full Buddy Cast forever. He's been liking the post. He's been retweeting the post. He's been commenting on the post for years. In fact, he was kind of the reason that he's like, dude, Sean from Cole Street. So shout out to Craig on that, but also shout out to Eric Madrid as well. Golfing with him this past summer. He's like, hey, think of a local brewery that you'd want to like talk to and maybe you guys can work out a deal and talk about stuff and you guys can promote each other and all that. And I thought, hey, that's a great idea. But because of Craig, my first thought was Sean and Cole Street. Now, I've been to Cole Street years and years and years. I wouldn't go there all the time because
We've only been in business for 7 years, so years and years. I don't know.
Okay, well, I wouldn't go there all the time, but I would go there when there was friends like Melanie Flores and a few other people that would go from my work. We would go hit up, hey, let's go play Jenga after work at Cole Street. Or we would, so we would have actually retirement parties there. We would have just, hey, it's Friday, let's go crash over there for we're not crashing, we're going to sleep over there, but let's go crash a party over there, have fun, drink it up over there. So I've been to Cole Street at the old location. So I didn't even know about the new location until Eric Madrid said, hey, why don't you go hit up Cole Street or think of some local brewery. I talked to Craig. He goes, oh, that's cool because because Sean's got this new place over here at the Enumclaw Courier Herald building. I was like, oh, that's awesome. And then since then, it's just been a fun little adventure. So shout out to Craig and Carrie and Corey, and then also shout out to Eric Madrid on that one as well. And then we've also had this conversation in the past. If you listen to the past ones, you and Eric were in the same Boy Scout troop together for a bit.
Sir. Yep.
Yeah. So it's a small world.
For sure.
It's a small world. So, all right, everyone, thanks for listening. Hit up the other episodes. If you need a brief history on Cole Street, the easiest thing is just to go to the fullbodycast at libsyn.com and type in Cole Street. If you're a Spotify listener, if you're an Apple iTunes listener, if you type in Cole Street, it should have all of the episodes, even maybe a live one that we've done in the past there as well. Anything that Cole Street's listed as, it'll bring up all of those episodes. So if you want to hear more about Brouhaha, Cole Street, Sean, all that, check it out. Please send us your questions. We call them guestions, questions for our guests. We're going to bring in guests at some point as well. And then I think Sean's going to join Craig and Corey a couple times for what we call garage night. It's that night where you just kind of hang out in your garage and chat, and
Those
drink
are always
and talk.
fun times.
Then just every topic at some point comes up at some point on those nights. And so we are going to get Sean on a couple of those as well. So everyone, thanks for listening. Go to Cole Street, take yourself in at Full Buddy Cast, hashtag it, and then also hashtag shop local. Shop.
Keep it local.
Keep it local even after Christmas.
Yeah.
Let's get that trending.
Sure.
All right, everyone, take care.
Cheers.
Making your way in the world today, you really need a pod. Why don't you put your headphones in and give this one a shot? Wouldn't you like to just listen away and go to a place where everybody knows who you are? Listen to Two Guys Brew Ha Ha, Cole Street Brewery and Full Buddy Cast, two of the greatest names. Why don't you go and listen to this episode?